Hi guys, this is Carol, and in this tutorial I am going to be showing you how to create a YouTube thumbnail on Canva. So once you sign to Canva, which is a free account, you will just go and either pick up templates. There are a ton of templates available. Click on templates and there are a lot of templates over here, presentation flyers. They do have for all social platforms, but I have never used the YouTube template. However, I know the dimensions just from trial and error, and so I usually just start from scratch. So what I go is I do create a design, and I'm showing you right from scratch. I already have templates, but which I will share with you, but you do custom designs, and then you go and put your YouTube thumbnail size. And you can Google this if you don't know, but I'm going to be telling you it is going to be 1280 by 720 pixels. And when you do that and you create a design, it comes up over here as a image with the pixels that you have selected. Now, once you do that, this title of the image is not will go away as soon as you start putting content. So what I usually do is, just so that I remember, I do since this is going to be shared with you so you can use it, I'm going to do a share, and I'm going to do YouTube. I'm giving it a name so I remember, and I'm going to put the dimensions over there just so that next time when I'm creating it, I can find it, and I'll explain to you why that's so. Now, this is a free tool, so you can go ahead and use it however else. So just for practice sake, I'm going to show you a technique I use at so there is a way that you upload all the images that you need. So say supposing you want an image of yourself. Ideally, it's good to keep it different. So each of your video has an image of what I'd suggest is after you're recording a video, take a few stills of that scenario, wherever the background is, whatever you're working, a craft or something, so that your image relates to the content you're creating. For a workshop style, if you're doing something, you'll have your image with the workshop kind of a background. If you are just doing a studio style, then you just have the background. Regardless of what still you take, try to keep it a little different. I have not done that in the past, but I intend to do that going forward, because otherwise it gets very monotonous looking the same old, same old. But there has to be some sort of consistency in your image. So what I do is, my background is color-wise, I'll just pick, I know what my color is, so I go in there and I just pick a color of a background that appeals to me. It's somewhere here are my shades, so I just kind of go there, pick the color. I can go light, dark, whatever, but this is what I'm going with for now. So that's my background. I need a text box, so I drop a text box over there. I need an image, and I'm going to go to upload, and I'm just going to grab an image, any image. This is just, I have some pointing images for trial. I'm just going to take this image. This is this is just a quick thing I'm doing. I won't probably be using it, but just to give you an idea of how you can create your tiles. So this was a recording I did, and I just took some pictures after I recorded it. So I can go and crop it. I don't need it however I need. I can make it big. If I'm doing it this way, if I'm making it big, covering it as a background, but I don't want it as dark, I can go into the transparency and change the transparency so that my picture is not really the picture that is taken over, but I want the text. Now the text doesn't look nice and dark, so I'll make it white, or in my brand colors, I think white would look better. If I did my brand colors, I would have to put some kind of a background behind, which I'll show you how to do. So for this, so I'm going to just call it test on making a YouTube thumbnail. So this is just my test. I move it up here. I wanted to, I can now either change the size of it or do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can make it big. So if this is what I'm using, it's still not showing very clearly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a box behind it. And now this is how you put a box. You pick one of the solid boxes and you can make it to the size of your content and put it right over here. Okay. And now I want my finger to show because I'm trying to kind of, and then now this is still not very clear. So I have to, first of all, note this is an overlay. So this is the text and there is a box below it. So what I want to do is I'm going to make sure this text is a little bit bigger. So like that. So now the box below it is got a different color and the text is a different color. So I want the box to be maybe dark. So now I've selected the box. I'm going to go maybe black so that, let's see, that's a lot more visible. So it's taking a little away from my room, which is fine, but I can now tinker with my transparency to see if I want myself a little bit brighter, if I want it a little bit darker. So now, you can do a ton of things, but this is one way of doing it. Create your thumbnail. I used a solid box, but you can go get very creative on all of this. And now what I'm going to do is I can download it. So if say this is done, I'm happy with this product. I just go here and I select a JPEG or PNG, whatever you want, and you download it. Now if you have many pages, it'll give you an option and I'll just show you how it is. So I'm making a couple of copies. So I have you'll notice this is page 2, this is page 1. So I have 2 copies. Now when I download it, it asks me if I want to do all pages or one page or whichever. So I want to do just one page. I pick one page, I do done, and I download it, and I will then see it in my download folder. So that's one way of making your tiles. So I'm going to share this video with you so you can create your tiles. You can always Google to see the exact size, but this is how you would create it to the size that you require. Now there is a lot other options in Canva, and these are called frames, and these are actually very easy to use as well. And I'm just going to do the second one with the frame just so you have an idea. So I'm going to take out my picture from the background because now I don't need a picture, and I'm going to say put this frame in here. Now this is a frame which is kind of very abstract. It doesn't look the best aesthetically, but you can do anything you want. This is your world, and if you want to use a frame like this, that's fine. Let me see how this works. So if I want like this, and I go back to my picture and I pick my picture and see what happens when I drop it in the frame. It just takes over, fills the frame. Now I can position my picture to wherever I want it to. If I can, well, this picture is not quite working. I'm going to change the size of this tile so I can actually, okay, I can make it small, but I can make it big. So this is not quite working out, but let me see if I can find another picture that I can use. And so all you do is you drag the picture onto the tile and it just fills up the tile. Now this picture I can kind of use and move it. So it just, basically you can just do a lot of stuff. I think I'm going to find another picture which is a little bit more easier and might fill in the, it doesn't have to be pointing, but I just have some of them pointing. Let me see if this works. Okay, so if I just click it, it just falls over here, but if I drag it onto the frame, okay, so this is quite not happening. I don't think this frame is the best frame to use for this. So I am going to make it a little bit smaller and see what, okay, so it's not letting me crop the picture and it's not letting me move. Okay, lets me move like that a little bit. So now let me see if I can increase the frame and what happens. Okay, so it's got myself in the picture, but it's not looking really the best. But if I had to kind of do something like that, I'm just saying. I'm trying to work with this frame, but I could use any of the other frames above, and they might just work as fine. I'm using this wiggly one just to kind of get a wiggly thing, but it doesn't have to be so. These are called frames. I should probably use just a square frame, and that would be the best. I don't want to complicate it for you at this point. So let's go square. You want a short square maybe, because if you have some brand colors or whatever, and then you take your upload and you just stick it in there. That's it. So now this is a very straightforward, okay, that looks better. But my head looks too big, so if you want to kind of change it and you don't like this look, then hey, you can do a lot of other stuff. But basically what you're doing is you are tinkering with this space and just making the thumbnail look whatever appeals to you. Now in this case, it's not looking the best because it's got this little blank space, but I would then put the text not together, but in 3 lines or something like that, whatever. There's a ton of things you can do with Canva and get creative. And if you're not creative, there's just replicate something that appeals to you, make one and then just keep reusing. Like I could just kind of make copies of this and just change the text and change the image and I'll be done for my thumbnail. So hope you found this useful and it helped a little bit in creating your thumbnails. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.